Live from Radio Row on Super Bowl 59 from New Orleans. I'm Roy Kessel with Sports Philanthropy Network, and we're very excited to have with us now special guests from the Denver Broncos. We've got Damani Leech and Allie Engelken, and we've got an amazing helmet that will in the outtakes we'll show people what I look like with that helmet on. But thank you for taking time to join us today. We know brain health and safety and concussions are such an important issue. So give us a little bit of background about why you developed this program.
Yeah, well, first, just the program itself. It's Denver Broncos statewide initiative to provide new Riddell Axiom helmets to every high school in the state of Colorado. That's 277 high schools. Every player will get a helmet. That's over 15,000 helmets that we'll distribute over a 4-year period.
And so talk a little bit about the helmet. What's the cost of one of these helmets?
I think these helmets are about $1,000 or more. They are a bit expensive, but they're also, third parties will say these are the best helmets on the field. Riddell Axiom helmet, great technology, exterior, interior, 3D printed to custom fit every player's head. So incredibly, safe, technologically advanced. There's insight technology in there that allows coaches and staffs to measure the volume and locations of hits that players take all week long, calibrate their practices accordingly if they want to.
So the technology, and I just want to show this for our group here. I mean, you can see both on the inside in terms of how much padding is there, right? You've got the visor, you've got all of the sensors and everything that are built in here. We know with brain health, one of the most damaging things is the repetitive types of hits. Somebody can get one big hit and get a concussion, but if that's the only hit that their head's taking, they're probably going to be okay. But it's this subconcussive blows over and over, right, in a career of football, from youth football through high school, college, professional football. You're taking literally thousands and thousands of hits. So what data does this allow a coaching staff or an athletic training staff to gather?
Yeah, that's a great point. So one of the unique features of the helmet is actually has 5 different flex panel system. And so it's tracking each of the 5 flex panels. And so coaches receive a report about intensity, load, and number of hits. And so if we know that all of the linebackers are receiving their most hits in the front, that's a coaching tool and an opportunity to train on heads-up tackling techniques. So the helmet itself is safer because of the flex panel, but it also has the data that's backing that up. And in a state like Colorado, where all of our teams are playing at altitude, the interior fitting does not use air adjustments. And so the interior pads are not changing at any point during the season as they would if you're using air or other foam techniques to build a player's helmet.
Now, you mentioned a few things that are really important. Like you talked about the construction of the helmet, right? The NFL, Damani, as you guys all know, right, has started instituting guardian caps for practices. We see some players now using them during the games as well, right, in an increasing frequency. So is this system something that is compatible with using the guardian caps or wearing the guardian caps?
So the guardian cap does fit over top of the helmet.
Yep.
That is a choice based on the player, the school district. Some have requirements related to when their high school players have to play them, but it is compatible with guardian caps.
Yep.
And how many, this is right now, the program is designed to be for high schools?
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
and you said there's about 15,000
players, 277 high schools in the state of Colorado.
But 15,000 players, if we're talking $1,000 a pop, that's a $15 million investment that the club is making over this period of years. So that's a big commitment from the team.
Yeah. And I think for us, Allie can talk about the foundation, but broadly for us, it starts with our ownership group, the Walton Penner Family Ownership Group, who really challenged us and said, hey, we want to make a significant impact on youth in the state of Colorado. You all as staff figure out how to do that, and challenged us in August. We really started this project in August, and here we are in February now, full rollout and launch. Very, very quick movement by Allie and her team.
So we're going to come to Allie in just a minute because I've got a ton of questions on the foundation. I love that work that you guys are doing. But is this something that other teams have asked you about or interested in getting on board with? Because for years we talked about the mental health, the brain injuries. the number of dollars that are available in the NFL world, right?
Yeah.
Even as big a commitment as $15 million is, right, over the scheme of looking at the salary caps and looking at the investments on the field, right? It's a big number, but it's not an insurmountable number. So, what are you hearing anything from other teams?
Yeah, we've gotten, I think, pretty tremendous feedback from other teams. I think teams have been curious, teams have been inspired, and what teams do in their own market, what their mission is up to them. But a lot of positive support. I think teams, just last night we had somebody come up to us and just say, what you guys are doing is great, really inspiring, challenging us to think about impact, whether it's with helmets or sports or anything else. But I think just the level of impact that we're trying to have, I think is what's inspired a lot of clubs around the country.
And so now, Allie, let's jump over to the foundation, right? This is an amazing initiative in and of itself if you are doing nothing else, but I certainly know that you are doing much more than nothing else. So tell us about what the foundation is working on.
Yeah, so the Denver Broncos Foundation, the 501c3 arm of the team, we're committed to making a positive impact on youth, and specifically around youth health and wellness, like the Helmet Initiative, in and out of school programming, and access to career pathways. So we have significant granting and programs available throughout the entire state of Colorado, as well as Mexico, that's bringing all of that programming to life. So the helmets is one part of it, but we are incredibly busy at the foundation, knowing that our impact can have far greater reach.
So what's the connection to Mexico?
So Mexico is the Denver Broncos international home market area. Fun fact, they're outside of the Metro Denver area, the most Broncos fans are actually in Mexico City. And so for the last 3 years, we have had tremendous support in growing flag football in Mexico, both through in-school curriculum as well as national tournaments.
So you talked about like the granting and funding opportunities and all the educational programs. Tell us a little bit more specifically about what some of those programs look like.
Yeah, so if we focus in on in and out of school programming, we know that access to safe locations after school hours is really important, specifically in our community. The Denver Broncos and the foundation were the first team to fully fund our own Boys and Girls Club. So we have a freestanding Denver Broncos Boys and Girls Club. It's served about 15,000 kids since it opened the doors in 2003, providing hot meals, a safe place to go after school, academic tutoring, sports opportunities for ages 5 to 18. That's one of our signature programs that we're really proud of. In the college and career space, we are placing additional academic advisors at local high schools to help students navigate their post-high school career or college opportunities. So a little bit of everything, but alongside great grantees and partners.
Well, you've got your hands full. There's a lot of initiatives, and I think people from the outside don't always understand the mechanics of how much work goes into not only an initiative like this, but everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. So congratulations on everything we're doing. Thank you for coming with us. I know you guys filled out some cards in advance. So would love to have you put that up here on our wall of philanthropy.
Okay.
And then we're going to have you tell us about right over here. We'll have you put it over.
Got it.
Awesome. So tell us about, Allie, what you picked and why that was your cause.
Yeah, so I obviously picked the Denver Broncos Foundation. I think, one, because we're so far-reaching in our focus area, we have this incredible platform and opportunity and leadership of a great board of directors and ownership group to get there. So we can use sport for good, and that's what we're doing every day at the foundation.
Fantastic. Damani?
Yeah, so I picked the Denver Broncos Boys and Girls Club, which Allie talked about. We have a little joke. So there's a Whitney Houston lyric about children being the future, teach them well and let them lead the way. So I like to use that. But it is. I go into the Boys and Girls Club and you see all these kids, these smiling faces, they're running around, they have tons of energy. And then when you see them interact with our players, you see them light up. It's just great. So it's fun to do. Love the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, and I think one of the things that really hits me, you talk about the Boys and Girls Clubs, having that safe space for after school, right? I'm based in Chicago. You see so many of the problems on the streets with gangs and drugs and violence, and having an opportunity for people to really have a situation where the kids can go somewhere, do something productive, right there. I think kids would mostly rather play, rather connect, rather be together.
Yep.
I think the other negative influences can override that when there is a gap, right?
Yeah.
Something just takes charge of that gap, and
Yeah.
it may not be positive, but having those opportunities. So congratulations. Thank you for joining
Nice
us.
to meet you in person.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Great
you
to meet you.
taking the time to be with
Absolutely.
us. On behalf of Sports Philanthropy Network, I'm Roy Kessel signing off live from Radio Row at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Please remember to live generously.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
This
Yeah.
was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
for
love
thanks a
your
lot.
making the
setup.
time
This
for
works
us.
great.
For sure.
And then we're going to talk more because I'd love to do a whole special
Yes.
podcast focused on the foundation,
Love
like in
that.
more
Thank you.
detail. I love
I
these,
feel like
but
Allie on a panel at the conference in June would be a good idea.
Here we go.
I would love that.
Just my,
Chicago,
Well,
here we
thoughts.
come.
Just my thoughts.
Yeah?
But yeah, I am a big fan of
Fantastic.
yours and follow a lot of
Thank
your work.
you.
So
I
thank you for
appreciate. I'm
highlighting
glad
the
that we
good work in
could
sports.
meet in person,
Yeah.
and thank you for making the time and
Yes.
bringing everything over here.
Yep, and Megan is the best way to get a hold of me and all the details.
Did you fill out a card? One of those?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah. That's our Wall of Philanthropy card, so we'd love to have you
Okay.
do that, and then we'll put it out there as well.
I'm gonna say all in, all covered.
Love it.
You okay? You guys need water or anything?
Oh, I'm great. Yeah, thank you.
You know where to get stuff upstairs. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Megan's got my bag of
Yep.
goodies, snacks and goodies.
Yeah, I know. It's like people are like, "That's right upstairs." I said, "You don't understand. Like when you're doing like 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, I don't have half an hour. Like
To go all the way up, yeah. Yeah.
Go upstairs and get something, and
Come all the way back
barely
down.
have time to sneak over to the restroom."
Yeah, I was gonna say I can tell from all the.
Do you have a pretty jam-packed day?
Yeah, we
Is this one of your busier days?
Yeah, Thursday and Friday are crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously. How long are you guys in town?
I actually leave tomorrow, so we
You don't
can.
get to go to the game?
Nope, not going to the game. But being from Denver, I don't really need to see a Chiefs game, so like good to go.
We've got plenty of those.
There's one that's already got that.
there you go.
That one's got the paper.
There you go.
So we've got a small contingent of staff that are in town that will stay for the game, but I'm headed back to distribute some helmets.
Again, next week at the stadium, we're gonna have a nice little caravan. It's gonna be very exciting.
Is there a phone under that?
Yes.
helmet? I'm going to do one thing then. I want to put it back on.
Oh, yeah.
Would you, Allie, Megan, would you take a quick photo
Oh my gosh, I would love
with
to.
Allie and I, and if you want to put the helmet